Yo, what's good? It's Tech Drunk here to talk about Black Clover, Chapter 309. Since I didn't get to do the planned theory video concerning Yuno's magic, and the answer is here, I'm gonna try to quickly go over it. Some of the stuff I was gonna talk about. I should have a timestamp or chapter set up, so if you just want to skip this and get to the chapter review or recap, then look for that. But a lot of what I was going to do was go over all these notes I took. I got like 2 pages of them from going through like most of the rereading most of the story. So, and also I was going to play off of this theory I read months ago concerning this, because it also was kind of the basis for me looking for hints, because I thought either of these guesses here made sense. They don't exactly pan out, but the dude or dudette was very close. They were onto something clearly. So, user neutral break from the Black Clover Reddit. It said in chapter 279, the division commander Albert, who once Ralph told him that Yuno was a skilled wind mage, was just like, huh? He was like, I see. Dot dot dot. It didn't seem like it made sense to him. He had this kind of a surprised look on his face. So, blah, blah, blah. Said a few of the meanings or symbolism in the spade. Halberd or pikes, nobility and military. Notice halberd. Saint of Boreas. It's interesting. That was the form he took right when the raid started. And he just clapped 80% Xenon. One blow. Spade represents the leaf of the cosmic tree in this life, along with its companion suit of clubs. Spade represents fall and winter, the power of darkness. A tarot that symbolizes action, intellect, air, and death. Going to focus on life and death. 2 names I'll be using as Yuno's parents. And he says that French meaning ciel, sky, heaven, voice, famous word. There's also this part where it's like a bit of a reach, comparing Black Clover to 16th or 17th century, possibly being related to France. I mean, it's about to plays off so many other things as well. So there's heavy influence from Norse mythology. Got a lot of stuff going on here. So, but his main point was King Louis XIV proclaimed himself the sun god. The reason he brings it up is because Louis also means famous warrior, much like Lois. And this could possibly mean that Lois had some kind of sun, solar, or light magic. And spot on, at least in regards to Lois, because he seems to have had sun magic. His first guess here was soul, life, or death magic. Going on the guess that Ciel has heaven magic, related to souls or death, and Lois with sun magic, related to life. Now, the soul, life, death is not part, sort of this stuff is not confirmed. But let me just show you the first thing I saw whenever I went to read. Where is the tweet? This chapter. Sun, moon. It's very celestial. Notice the crescent moon in particular. Let me tell you some of Yuno's earliest spells. Celestial Wind Arc. Crescent Moon Sickle. Interesting stuff here. This man joined the Golden Dawn. Someone else even posted it. Look at this. son right behind him. Right as he's being told about the message from Hodge. That's when this was. We've been getting hints at this forever, and none of us probably realized. But he goes on to say, he or she goes on to say, the reason Yuno is using wind magic is because once he crossed the Great Magic Zone and came into the Clover Kingdom, he took control of the Sun Soul. And basically, it's regarding the reincarnation. And his basis here was took control at such a young age and grew up with it. Didn't even realize it wasn't his attribute. And he was basically able to get all the things like Sun would have got. 4-leaf grimoire in spirit. And was able to use his wind weapons because that's what like Sun would have. Like wind magic plus sword magic. I believe Lumiere even mentioned this when they were fighting Zagreus. He said wind magic plus sword magic in regards to Yuno's Spirit of Zephyr form. Because he was able to use wind creation magic to create that. So, in a way, it's just like, and also it goes on to say, it became a form of weapon magic. Hence why he's able to create these other weapons in the other spirit forms. Because you've got the halberd, you've got the bow and the Spirit of Eurus now. But yeah, Yuno would need a spade grimoire to use it to its fullest, but the other option here was Aether. Aether was the god of the upper air, sky, light, and heaven. And used the above apparent information, sky and sun could be related to Aether. Aether was the name of the fifth element. Okay, good. I'm glad he said origin element. Because Aristotle speculated it was the first element. Other people began calling it the fifth element. Yeah, the origin element, where these other ones, the main four we know of, come from. And this was reasonable because he would theoretically be able to use whatever. It had only been used in the wind force. Now, on to our feature presentation. Black Clover, chapter 309. Twinkling. The tagline. 2 grimoires. What is Yuno's new magic? This man continues to glow. Veneral is skewered. Sit on. What is the meaning of this? He has 2 grimoires. Just what on earth is? And then before he can even finish his thought, he's got 2 beams firing. Lost his whole left orbital area. And then got a nice hole through one of his wings. And you just see these miniature crystalline shapes. Then we go on to see that little page I mentioned that I saw in the tweet. The royal family of the Spade Kingdom has passed down similar special types of magic for generations. Voice, the father, the son. Ciel, the mother, the moon. The heir to that bloodline is. It's just then, as Zenon's regenerating, it's just like shocked. It's like, you are. The narration finishes. Yuno Grinberry-all. Zenon finishes his words. The child of the royal family. You see this big page as Yuno has more of these around him. There are 4 in total. And it's just, we got big words. Star magic. Belle decides to finally stand up. She was hunched over in his hand. I don't know why I couldn't realize it wasn't Belle before. She's like, finally, I feel like I've met the real Yuno. He's like, yeah, but I can't win with this power alone. Store up some strength within me, Belle. She's just like, got it. And with this, we now see the completed spirit of Zephyr form. 2 wings. You know, every time we saw it before, it was only the 1 wing. And you notice, Yuno has picked up the brothers. They're sitting in the celestial wind arc. He tells them, thanks to you, I made it in time. Please leave the rest to me. Go to recovery mage and get healed. They're both kind of shocked. Longer's just like, damn, just what are you? It's just like, I'm the vice captain of the Golden Dawn. I've got this. And, woo. Star magic. Quartal Scutum. Scutum. Means shield in Latin. Is also a constellation. Yuno gets cubed. It's like you have no way of returning from subspace. But he does. He's got another attack. Star magic conjunction. And at this moment, you also got this other line here. Instant movement under the stars. Now, this conjunction is able to get several, or at least 4 here. I should say, no, yeah, that's 4. Quartile would be the key here. It's able to get 4 of these in close proximity, converge their energy into 1 point, and then fire an attack. Yuno says the pages of this grimoire were engraved to defeat you. Star magic, quartal hasta, meaning spear in Latin. It is one of the 28 nakshatras in Hindu astrology. Now we got a big old hole through the whole right arm area. Just chest, labrum, shoulder, all that gone. Looking like Yami's death thrust through Dante. Kinda. Yuno screams, the choices I made were right. I'm going to prove it. Zenon, as he regenerates, just like, I want to crush you. Fires off a barrage of bones. And you would expect Yuno to go Spirit's Hush dance here, but it doesn't even look like he needs to. I'm not seeing him all over the place. He's just somehow avoiding. Says, I am the one who's righteous. And they clash with the bone sword and the spirit of Zephyr sword. I am the one who will be victorious. The 2 sides clash in a battle of beliefs. Yeah. At this point, Zenon's like, oh, maybe we should have chased down that dude all them years ago. So yeah, happy Star Day. Between this and we got Star and Stripe in action, and my hero. Haven't read it yet. I'm about to get onto that after I finish this up though. Nice chapter. You know, after rereading all that I've read, I feel like many hints were there. But this still doesn't answer the question of how he was able to utilize Lictantetia's son magic. Maybe there's more to this than Tabata's just basically presenting. Because, like, when you think back on that theory you mentioned, like, that I mentioned from Neutral Break, they were, like, very onto something that would explain how he was able to. With just this, what we got in this chapter, we have no explanation for how he was able to fully utilize the soul even years and years before the reincarnation spell. There's no logical explanation based on the story. Unless he has something, there's something more to this. Like, yeah, just being beloved by Mana, that don't explain nothing. like even if we establish that both Yuno and Lictantetia's son, I wish we had a name for this kid. I hate having to say it like that over and over. But yeah, I think they're clearly both were beloved by Mana. Definitely. Like, that 4-leaf grimoire was there for Lick's son. Gotta be. He had a 4-leaf. His child was the son of him and a human royal, whose brother had a 4-leaf cloak. So, not that far-fetched at all. It was the Aether part. I mean, that would give us some explanation as to how he was able to utilize all that wind magic and think it was his own. I mean, he wouldn't know any better, obviously. But it would at least make sense of how he was able to, like, fully utilize that soul within him to the point where he's not only able to get the grimoire that's destined or would be destined for like a son, but get the wind spirit and fully utilize the potential of that soul's magic in his spirit forms, spirit of insert forms. So, like, this chapter leaves me kind of with the same remaining question: how? It's cool we got the answer on what is magic is, but you're still left with that big question: how are you utilizing this magic? You're basically the majority of your life since you started using magic. And there was even more to it. I forgot to mention earlier. Like, I feel like that moment of if it was something like more like the soul life death magic part that Neutral Brick had in here, there was something to be said for back in the reincarnation arc that Yuno's the Licked Sun struggled to take over because of that potential that Yuno did have control over his soul forever. And that's why he couldn't take over. Furthermore, in the next chapter after that, Yuno straight up says he can tell their bodies are being controlled by other souls right now. The originals have been put to sleep. He can definitely sense the one inside himself. And I have a note here, like, did Asta's Wizard King line at that moment in the previous chapter, like, fully wake him up can momentarily tap into this potential magic that Neutral Break had thought of. I mean, Neutral Break could still be kind of onto something here with, I mean, not exactly. It's kind of tricky at this point. So we now have a name for the magic. It's star magic. That definitely presents celestial possibilities. Star, I mean, the sun is a star. Like, let's get that out the way right now. So, linking back to that, the heaven magic related to soul to death. Lois with sun magic related to life. So, maybe there's more to the star magic than Zabata is willing to present us as of this moment. But yeah, solid chapter. I'm glad to see, very glad to see, he's just not one-shotting him. Still ain't going for no damn heart, though, like he told him to. Here's the real question. Can the star magic take out a devil's heart? We know with the spirit saint stage, Noelle, that she could take out a heart. Will the combined abilities of a spirit form and his star magic be able to do the job? Goes, off the hype alone I got reading this, doesn't get a 10 from me, but it's damn sure not. Maybe I'm too harsh on Black Clover these days, but I'll live with it. I'll live with the criticism of my criticism through straw. I really love this series, don't get me wrong. I really, really do. I just feel like sometimes it's lacking in some regards. Like having reread most of the story now, just recently. Like I've reread other arcs before. Well, definitely have. And rewatched them too. And oh my god. In doing so, in this latest reread, it really hit me. How much gets left out of the manga that we just don't see that gets adapted in the anime. It's not like just like filler stuff. Like there's stuff we're straight missing in the manga that's expanded on the anime. But it would be great if that comes back because I feel like it would make all the stuff like that I've been complaining about the last year just hit better. You know, for a while there, we were getting like 13 pages every week. It's just like, why is this so short? And because it was so short, it was getting so formulaic. I was just like, why? It's like, I can see everything you're doing now. That was mainly my biggest criticism of this for a while. Was that. But here lately, we're at least getting like 15 pages now. Sometimes we get a little more, but we're still running pretty short. I don't know if that's like Shueisha and Shonen Jump offices, but like yeah, the bottom it's not hitting. We're gonna shorten your pages. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, or if that's just You know, he's had a lot of issues lately, so I can get it. But it just feels bad, man. And don't get me wrong, like I said, the story's still great, in my opinion. The story's still pretty damn phenomenal. And the reread has reconfirmed, like, the battle foreshadows like nobody's business except Oda. I had all kinds of other random notes. Ultimate Magic, first mentioned in chapter 11. I got all kinds of notes, like on Mars and Morris. I'm gonna do a Morris video, especially considering what's going on now. Morris and the Diamond Kingdom. I mean, heck, let's go back to Mimosa for a second. Chapter 8. There was a flashback. Or not. What? That's chapter 19, page 8. This is also included Diamond Kingdom too. Yeah, I got just a bunch of rereading the first dungeon arc. In the battle in Chitin, where I had to look at Yuno again. But there was Mimosa flashback here when she was trying to heal Noelle after Mars had just got her. Someone said to her, with your royal magic, being a healer, they think she could become a healer that could heal any injury. And the any had this huge emphasis on it. Chapter 19. And then once you got chapter 284 with the explaining of how the mana method would allow them true magic to exceed their own potential mana. And then people lost their shit after her ultimate magic, like being able to use that. And it was explained to us. And then 20 chapters later, people lost their minds. Like, I didn't like it, but it was the writing was on the wall. So, in some regards, I am too harsh, but in many regards, I'm just like many of these other people bitching about things. Just clearly aren't paying attention. And they just don't like it because they don't like it. I feel like my criticisms are more structural in the way the manga is going. As far as like I said, formulaic battles, formulaic arcs. Like in this raid, it was just alright. We're in now. Yuno and Longers fight Zeno. Then we went to Charlotte Rill versus Vonica. Jack and Noct versus Dante. Everyone got defeated of the Dark Triad. And then something happened, of course, too, with Morris. And that's when Noct was like, oh, crap. Don't know how he's doing it. And speaking of, can we deal with him once like this is over? You know, like sometimes I'm not always the biggest fan of big battles like this where there's multiple fights going around that jump all over the place. But I'm damn sure not a fan of like where you focus on one battle forever. Granted, Black Clover fights generally go fast compared to other series, so it's not as huge a deal, but I feel like it's nice to branch yourself out. I don't know. I've been rambling way too long, though. That's for sure. So let's end it here. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe. Tell me how any explanation you have as to how Yuno was able to utilize Lick Sun's magic well before the reincarnation spell would have awoken the child. Yeah, peace.